Joining us now, Paris Dennard, who is a spokesperson for the Republican Party. Paris is having a good day today. I know he's busy. He's flying all over because now taking care of business, he's got a lot of business to take care of. Because Paris, first off, good to see you. Thanks so much for your time today. This is an amazing victory in so many ways, not just because, Virginia, you even have Glenn Youngkin that outperformed Trump in a number of areas, in a number of counties, but New Jersey. That's Biden country, deep blue New Jersey. To even be competitive in New Jersey is insane. I wanted to get your reaction to last night, and how does that change Republicans' approach and strategy going into midterms?
Look, there's no doubt that this was a red wave that we saw last night, and we are encouraged and excited about the type of candidate that Glenn Youngkin is. We are looking to him as to setting the roadmap for victory coming up in the midterm elections, because Virginia voters show that you can be a conservative Republican. You can support Republican ideals, talking about public safety, education reform, and supporting school choice and reducing taxes, and really meeting the moment with parents and listening to the people. He set the roadmap for the future victories of the Republican Party, while at the same time expanding the party, having tremendous gains with minority communities, 13% of the Black vote, tremendous support with Hispanic voters as well. This candidate is something that the Democrats are terribly afraid of, because he ran a race that flies right in the face of everything that they said. They try to make it about racism. They try to make it about critical race theory. They try to make it a national election. Glenn Youngkin and his team said, no, this is about the people. He ran a Virginia first election.
And that is key, because it really, and you hit up on something, Paris, that I think is so important. It really felt like Terry McAuliffe was running a national campaign, and right. He was picking a fight with Trump. He was running against Trump, running against every other Republican. And this is a different race too, because while Trump was involved, it wasn't a Trump heavy presence. And it really did. Glenn Youngkin, as you said, I don't know if I can count on one hand as many candidates like Glenn Youngkin who have been so disciplined on message and so zero focused. And he spoke to so many demos. You mentioned some of I was just looking at the breakdown of women particularly. He even outperformed Trump with women and Black voters and Hispanic voters, because he touched upon all of the areas of common ground where he knew that people were hurting, people wanted action. Whereas McAuliffe was like, parents, you guys are terrorists and you don't need to be in charge of your kids' education. Well, that's not going to sit well with any parent.
No, and listen, it's about those kitchen table issues. When Virginia voters go to the grocery store, I'm thinking about those single moms. When they go to the grocery store, they see the prices are so much more expensive for every single thing that they need. Glenn Youngkin said, I want to get rid of the food tax at the grocery store. That's something that everyone can agree with. When we go to the gas station and see the rising price of gas because of the Biden administration's failure on energy policy, Glenn Youngkin said, let's have a moratorium on the gas increase for 12 months to give relief to the Virginia drivers. These are things that are responsive. That's what you want from a government official, from someone who is not just a typical politician. As a businessman, he comes in and tries to figure out how to make solutions, right, how to solve problems, and listens. He listened to the people, and he also listened to parents. Not just women, but dads that are going to these school board meetings. He listened to them. He said, yes, you deserve to be engaged at your children's education at the school board level with the school districts. We want to empower you and not have the Democrats weaponizing the DOJ, calling these parents domestic terrorists. The Republican Party is better because of Glenn Youngkin and the victories that we saw across the board with Winsome Sears and all the down ballot victories that we had, especially in Ohio 15. And we're doing very well in defying odds in New Jersey. Nobody would have thought that we'd be so competitive in New Jersey. But again, Murphy is such a disaster. The nursing home situation, the high taxation. The American people are saying, no, the Democrat agenda just ain't working.
Talking with Paris Dennard, spokesperson for the GOP. And Paris, because I was looking at some of these states being reclassified now. Larry Sabato, we played that audio coming in, and I just saw this headline from the Hill on Joe Manchin, and it really does feel like the Democrats are kind of spinning out of control. They don't know. From what I understand, Biden had no press conferences today, no availability. He's basically called a lid, which is very, very bad optics. Midterms. 2010, former President Obama described it as a shellacking. It really feels like this is setting up midterms for being something that might even be more historic than 2010, even the whole conservative revolution in the 90s. How are Republicans going to prepare for that?
There's two big things that are important, Dana. Number one, election integrity. The RNC is committed to this issue. Let's look at what happened in Vermont. Two towns said we're going to try to make it so that non-citizens can vote. RNC said no, that's unconstitutional, especially the state constitution of Vermont. We're challenging them right now in court, and we'll take it all the way to the Supreme Court. So election integrity is critically important. We had more poll watchers and lawyers ready to go in all of these battleground states, especially Virginia, New Jersey. The other thing, Dana, that's important is voter registration. The Democrats play this game all the time. Stacey Abrams spent years and a lot of money registering voters. Republicans have to do the same, and we're doing that. That's why we have vote.gop, and we encourage people to go register to vote and vote. Look, we know the Democrats are going to try to play games with the election, but the best thing that we can do is overpower them with the vote, make it too big to rig. And that is the key thing that we go into the midterm elections, because we know the wind is on our side. We know the people are excited about having a change, and they want action. They're not getting it from this administration. They're not getting anything. And the minority communities, if you cared about police reform, you're not getting it. If you cared about HBCU support, not getting it. If you care about the things that really matter, this Democrat Party is in disarray, and they're still proposing things like defund the police. Thank God Minneapolis said, no, we want to have a police force. We want to have that because public safety is critically important. So as we go into the midterms, Dana, it's going to be so important for Republicans to be on message, to be unified, and remember who our real enemy is. It's the radical socialist agenda of this current Democrat Party that controls everything: the House, the Senate, and the Congress.
Paris, I love what you said. It has to be too big to rig, because when voters turn out, I mean, there are significant gains. I mean, ultimately, that's one of the things that contributed to, the special election in Georgia, historically low voter turnout for that election. When Republicans don't show up, that's how they get beaten. When they show up and when they run good candidates and run good races, that all matters. Paris Dennard, thank you so much, my friend. And we're going to be, I know we'd love to have you back, and we'll be talking to you more again soon. Safe travels, my friend. God bless.
Thanks, Dana. Appreciate all the work that you do.
Thank you.